What you just saw was me trading 8 black long spiked collars for a plaque, and a mighty good looking one at that. But for most jammers, this plaque is nothing more than an inconvenience in the world of trading. I mean, if you look at the Animal Jam Worth wiki, either plaques are worth 1 Den Beta or 50. What? So it was only natural for me to start digging into the history of plaques, and after heavy consideration, I am convinced that plaques are the best den item in the game. Period. As of July of 2025, there are currently 23 plaques in the game, and it is time to finally rate them all, classic Outfit Raider style. So, let's categorize this video. I'll be diving into the history, use, and functionality of every available plaque in the game. Then, for the sake of entertaining my neurodivergent audience, putting them into a tier list. Ain't that fun? I mean, I'd be entertained. We'll also dive into my obsession with them, and the lengths I've done to sustain myself. We'll start with the worst, and slowly go up from there. Without further ado, here is the official Outfit Raider plaque tier list. Every plaque was originally supposed to be named the Reward Plaque, according to the game's files that is, but for some reason the developers changed their mind and kept the name exclusive to the Howl Plaque's design. These were mostly given out during the first few months of the Howling system, a news ticket-like presentation of messages from players located in Jammer Central. The Reward Plaque was eventually discontinued and replaced with a different name, the Howl Plaque, a much more fitting name compared to its predecessor. But those who have the Reward Plaque before the name changed did not have the plaque renamed. And because of this small, feeble change, this thing is worth 15 solids. Are you kidding? This is one of the worst things that Animal Jam Economy has ever done. This thing has a different name. Nothing new compared to the Howl Plaque. It is disgusting. It disgusts me by how such a simple change forces you to spend months of work just to get a carbon copy of a plaque that is worth 1 Den Beta. One! Nothing in this game will convince me that this is not by far the worst plaque in the game. It is there to waste your time. I will not feel anything after collecting this thing because it is so unbelievably, terribly, incomprehensibly insane. It is by far the worst plaque in the game. This thing gets its own tier. Garbage tier. I don't want to talk about this thing again. Onto the D tier, the bottom of the barrel. I don't like these plaques much, but I collect them anyway for the love of the game. Let's get into it. This is technically a plaque because the game says so. The Juno plaque was available in the Juno's Ancient Items collection from August 8th to August 11th of 2019 as part of the year's Wild Weekend event, meaning this thing was only available for 3 days before promptly leaving forever. As a result, it took me weeks to find one person with this thing. And now that I have it, yeah, it's terrible. I mean, look at this thing. It's small, it's insignificant, it's boring, and it gives no sense of accomplishment. If you want to get technical, I suppose it's a plaque, but just barely. This thing is more a brick than it is a commemoration towards something. It's ugly and it's foul, but at least it includes the goat themselves. D tier. When anyone talks about plaques, they're probably thinking of this thing, this shiny, beautiful monstrosity. You can get this thing right now, and I recommend you do it. In January 31st, 2013, Animal Jam released the safety quiz after realizing their trading system was overwhelmingly successful, putting them in 2 spots, Apondale's Conservation Museum and the Temple of Zeos Chamber of Knowledge. To get this plaque, you just have to answer all 10 questions correctly, and since it's easily accessible, its worth is exponentially low, so much so that the wiki puts it as 1 rim instead of the more common a few rims counterpart. This thing is practically worthless, but it's a plaque, so they get into this video. As for its rating, this thing is pretty bottom of the barrel. The boring golden middle just ain't doing much for me. I mean, look at this thing. Does it spark joy and wonder? No! It's boring and common with an even more boring quiz in order to get it, but it stays iconic as one of the first plaques to ever exist in the game. And for these reasons, it isn't necessarily garbage, but it's pretty close, and it's going to get a D tier. Now on to the C tier. These ones are mediocre, but they're still pretty enjoyable to collect. Let's get started. You can get the community contest plaque by, you guessed it, winning a community contest hosted by AJHQ. This plaque is part of the Community Plaques collection released 4 years after the first plaque was made. As a result, these kind of plaques are significantly less sought out by players. This one is significantly more boring than the others, I'd say. More often than not, you're not participating in a contest to get this plaque, nor is the plaque even promised some of the time. So, whatever accomplishment you feel, it's not towards getting this thing. This rests at the bottom of C tier, since it's boring and lacks any actual achievement. I decided to pair the silver and gold eco plaques together for this. These are actually the newest plaques in the game's collection, arriving as part of the eco credits system in July of 2020. You can get these plaques by placing enough eco items in your den and getting enough of an eco score to be gifted the item. Now in theory, these plaques are rewarding since eco points take an extensive amount of time to produce. However, in execution, they're the most common plaques in the entire game. And the silver and gold eco plaques are pretty darn ugly. I've yet to see anyone use this thing effectively in any thematic den. But it's cool that they're silver and gold, I guess, so it gets C tier. This is a weirder plaque, I'd say. The giant rare plaque was obtainable through the 2018 Winter Box, this physical piece of merchandise with Animal Jam related content, including a code to use in the game to possibly get this plaque. Even as many years went by, it has stayed at a stagnant value of a decent to good long spiked collar. But beyond its interesting and quite capitalistic history, this plaque is pretty, but awkward to use in any given circumstance. It's even more difficult to trade because out of months of trading, I could only find one person actively trying to trade this thing away. It's another roadblock in the world of plaque collecting, one that bothered me for a long time, so it gets C tier. Alright, we're going to the B tier now. These plaques are fun and cool to collect with little to no flaws behind them. It kinda just goes down to preference from here. I know it's weird to put this on the B tier, especially above their brothers, but hear me out, okay? This thing is perfect for dens. You can straight up hang this on your wall and it'll blend into whatever homey or comfortable vibe you got going on. It is a great den item that I catch myself using on occasion. However, it suffers the same problem as the silver and gold eco plaques. They're probably the most common plaque yet. Most of my eco plaques were actually donated to me, simply because jammers had so much and didn't care for them. You don't necessarily feel accomplished when getting one either, so all of the emotion behind it is lost. If you enjoy making dens, you've gotta use this thing somehow. This plaque deserves the bottom of B tier. The artist plaque was once given to anyone whose art was shown off in the Jammer Central, a collage of art in Jamal Township handpicked by the headquarters. Believe it or not, art is still being added to the Jammer Central, that is, according to a Discord message I found June 6th of this year. However, the Jammer Central is no longer maintained manually, but through an algorithm that picks out which masterpieces have been liked at a noticeable rate. Even with the algorithm existing, the artist plaque is no longer given out for whatever reason, and despite it being unobtainable, it is only worth one den beta. This plaque is neat, I'd say. The paintbrush and easel looks fantastic, but due to its lack of demand, it doesn't have much excitement going for it beyond that. I can still feel a sense of accomplishment collecting these, because they're niche enough to be considered part of the collection. After all, you traded a whole den beta for this thing. Since it looks cool and I enjoy collecting, I rate this a comfortable B on the tier list. The community fan art plaque is an interesting item, to say the least. You can get this plaque by having your art featured in either the Daily Explorer, a newspaper-like board full of articles from AJHQ, or in their Instagram account. But for some reason, this plaque is significantly harder to find than the other plaques, with a heftier price tag to boot. It took me an embarrassing amount of time to find and trade for this thing, since jammers are so adamant about holding on to them. But, you know, I eventually found someone and I can proudly say, this plaque is pretty good. A considerable upgrade to the older artist plaque. The cross design with the paintbrush and pencil? Now that's an upgrade. Too bad it's so difficult to get one of these, so much so that I just gave up collecting them after getting only one. Cool design, but terrible to collect. B tier. This is a staple in the plaque collecting community. After all, it is technically the first plaque designed to ever be released in the game. As mentioned before, you can get this plaque by having your message be accepted into the howling system in Jammer Central, but since howls are gone forever, this plaque is no longer obtainable. But this plaque is just abundant enough to keep me collecting them consistently. Even if they're worth a den beta, they, and the artist plaque, make up most of my and other enthusiasts' collection. It is a good, but not great, plaque that should be respected. B tier. I've decided to pair these two up since their origins and rank function the same. The Diamond Jammer Art Plaque was given to those who won an art contest from the Daily Explorer. Within the Daily Explorer was a Jammer Snaps contest, which rewarded those who took the best photos within Classic via giving them the Diamond Jammer Snaps plaque. But once again, AJHQ is tending to its youngest child, so both of the contests, and thus their plaques, are discontinued. These ones are rare to find, but they're really pretty and give a mighty sense of accomplishment upon getting one, but due to their worth being high enough to make it difficult to collect, and the fact that they just ripped their designs from older ones, it rides right on the top of B tier. Maybe if HHQ starts doing these contests again, it'd be higher, but who knows at this point. And now we're in the A tier. Every plaque here is fantastic, whether it's because they're fun to collect or because they just look cool, and I'm excited to get into this. So let's do it. Congratulations! You've made it to the first plaque that I will probably never get. The videographer plaque is given to any jammer who has a total of 100,000 subscribers on YouTube. That might not seem much, but you have to remember that Animal Jam is an insanely small game at this point, so this plaque is practically unobtainable for content creators like myself. Yeah, I'm not getting this anytime soon. So why do I like it? I just think it looks cool. The faint film strip in the background is a cherry on top, and it remains a dream item of mine. It also is a huge accomplishment given the circumstances, so I'd be very, very proud of it if I were to actually obtain it legitimately. I guess this is the part where I tell you to subscribe, or something, to get this plaque, so do it, do it, do it. But since it seems impossible to get, this goes at the bottom of A tier. Now we're getting into the good stuff. This plaque is so much fun to collect, and most jammers are willing to take less than what is listed in the wiki. This plaque is given to the winners of any of AJHQ's activities hosted on the official Animal Jam Instagram. Breaking news! Breaking news! I just learned that this plaque is still being distributed. Oh my... Yes! Yes! It looks great, and it's just expensive enough to feel good about it, and I enjoy collecting these. An all-around great plaque that deserves the A tier. For some reason, the Epic Dens plaque is much more difficult to obtain than the AJHQ plaque, despite its different prices. The Epic Den plaque was supposedly a one-of-a-kind item in 2014. However, this plaque was officially released in 2016, 2 years later. You can get this plaque by having your den featured in any of the den contests. These den contests used to be hosted in the Daily Explorer, but eventually migrated to Animal Jam's Instagram. A huge misconception is that these plaques are still being distributed to any player that makes it to the Epic Dens list, but this is false. The game relies on an automatic algorithm to dictate what den is truly epic enough to be featured on the daily list. They do this by considering 3 factors. Is the den owned by a member? How many people have visited the den? And how many items are in it? If the value of all 3 factors are true and adequate, the game will automatically add you to the list, which explains how a lot of the dens are just shops, since jammers visit shops the most. Anyways, I love this plaque. It's more difficult to find than the AJHQ plaque, and I always get excited when I see the mighty castle design. So, absolutely, yes, a perfect A tier by all means. Now this is a plaque. Look at it. Look at this thing. And the community agrees on how cool it is too, pricing this thing at around 7 black long spiked collars as of July of 2025. And it's so good that I didn't get just one. No, I got 2 of these things. Terrible decision? Absolutely. Do I regret it? Nope. You can get this plaque by having your question be featured in any of Brady Bar's, Cammy's, or Tierney
Tierney Thies.
Tierney's educational videos. Hey, it's me, Outfit Raider. After making the script, I realized that I forgot Gabby Wild can give you the video plaque as well. Whoopsies. Back to the video. But now that Animal Jam has been disassociated from National Geographic ever since WildWorks took over the company, this plaque is no longer obtainable. Go ahead, ask any of them a question and see how far you get. This plaque is great. I want more of it, but it's just super expensive. And for a good reason. A tier. And the final plaque in the A tier is... You probably thought this would be an S tier, didn't you? After all, it's a Jambassador we're talking about. A Jambassador is a player chosen by HHQ to promote their games through content creation. As the play on words suggests, chosen players act as ambassadors for the game, and their contributions are rewarded with the Jambassador plaque. But the globe design, while super cool, is rather bland for the prestigious title. However, don't let that distract you from the fact that becoming a Jambassador is a huge deal, and getting one of these would make me insanely proud. Who knows, maybe I will become a Jambassador, but until then, I am forced to save up— oh, you're serious. Yeah, this one's super unrealistic to get, but a man can dream, right? This is another dream item of mine, and deserves the top of A tier. Congratulations, you've made it to the S tier, the best of the best. I have at least one of every plaque in this tier, except for one, but we'll get into that in a second. But first, let's get an unexpected plaque out of the way. You see this beautiful heart? Yeah, that's how I feel about this plaque. You can get the positive player plaque from, I don't know, being what HHQ interprets to be a positive player within the community. But since HHQ is tending to its youngest child, getting this plaque is exceedingly rare. And guess what? Despite of that, they're cheap! They're dirt cheap! I can't stop trading for these things. I will keep collecting them for as long as I am collecting plaques because they just look that good and they're that cheap. I have nothing else to say about this one. It is perfect. The design is perfect. How it goes is perfect. The price is perfect. Thank you. S tier. I absolutely love this plaque. The star design, the paw in the middle, mwah, peak design from the team. Don't care who you are, this is peak. The contest plaque, released in 2012, was the first plaque given to any jammer who won any of HHQ's contests. However, since there are many more plaques in the game that fit in particular types of contests, this plaque was eventually discontinued. But who cares if it's discontinued? Look at the thing. Look at the thing! I mean, yeah, it's a bit on the pricier side, but nothing overwhelmingly terrible if you're asking me. I'll appreciate it for what it is. One of my favorites. S tier. In third place, we have... Now, you might be wondering, what on earth is this thing? And to that I say, I have no idea. This item does not exist anywhere beyond the code. You can't find it, you can't trade it, you can't gift it, and the only form of documentation on it is a small wiki article that gives you no information on it. It is rumored that this was given to any hired developers of the game, but there's no confirmation on literally anything about this plaque. But look at it! Look at that design! Is that not the coolest design you've seen in a hot minute? Who knew turning the Jambassador plaque gold was such a good idea? That's the only reason why it's A tier. It just looks cool. It turned an already great plaque into a better one. S tier. This was the plaque I was getting at the beginning of the video. And I've been wanting this plaque for so long. It has a great golden camera design, it's as rare as can be, and it is a beautiful plaque that says I am, in fact, collecting plaques in a dead animal game. This plaque was given to any jammer who was part of the news crew team, according to a Daily Explorer article in 2016. However, 2016 is also the same year as when it was replaced by a particular other plaque we'll get to soon, despite the plaque existing since 2012. Due to the lack of advertising and how difficult it was to get into the news crew team during the prime of Animal Jam, it is excessively rare. 12 black long spiked collars rare. I traded only 8 for this, so I got insanely lucky. I was super happy to get this plaque, if it wasn't obvious by the clip. And I will most definitely get another at some point, but I don't have any options as there's only 20 documented users that have one, myself included, but still, S tier. And you probably know what my favorite is by now. It's been right under your nose the entire time. This was it. This was the thing that got me obsessed with Plaques. The moment I got it, I knew I needed more. Do you want to know how obsessed I am with this thing? I was so obsessed that my fans made fan art of me with this plaque. I've made a whole Chili's designed shrine for this plaque. I have this thing hung up on my wall. I made this video to talk about this thing. I am obsessed with it. It is excessively rare with only 16 documented users having one, including me. I want another. I need another. I will get another at some point, no matter how long it takes. My love for this plaque is more powerful than anything in this game. Test me. This plaque replaced the normal news crew plaque in 2016, and it was the best choice AJHQ has ever done in their career. It was the first plaque I've ever gotten, and it caused me to collect 59 artist plaques, 33 Howl plaques, 74 online safety plaques, 10 positive player plaques, 40 wood eco plaques, 33 silver eco plaques, 21 gold eco plaques, 14 AJHQ plaques, 6 epic dens plaques, 3 diamond art plaques, 1 diamond jammer snaps plaque, 7 community contest plaques, 2 contest plaques, 2 video plaques, 1 news crew plaque, and the diamond news crew plaque itself, for a grand total of 306 plaques that equate to 54.2 black long spiked colors worth. And I'm not done collecting! I'm not done collecting.